Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to talk about 5 tips fashion designers can use to help them deliver on time. Alright, so if this is what you love, please continue watching. Alright, so we all know that there is this notion that Nigerian tailors or fashion designers like to always disappoint. You and I know that is not true because that's what we do. But there are some factors that looks like they're against us that just unfortunately can result to that, but you know that you don't disappoint. So today I'm going to talk about 5 tips that can help you in this season and then in the coming months and to always deliver on time, even before time. So the first tip I have on my note here is 1, get the fabrics and materials on time. So we all know that there's a process to when your customer reach out to you and the process of sewing and then to the point of the process of delivering. Now you want to break down those processes, and you know that when you and your client agree on the style and then the fabric, you want to get to work to quickly go to the market, because you don't know, if you live in Lagos where I do, there are several markets and there might be this one market that is close to you. You might not find the fabric there. So the fastest you are to go and look for or source for that fabric, the better chances you have at delivering on time. So the fabric you are going to use, if you are in charge of the fabric, and of course the material. So materials like your lining, your zip, and the likes. However, if you also buy in bulk, so it means that in a month you probably want to get, so customer came first week, second week, and then all the customers that came to you in a certain week, you want to go ahead and buy all their materials at once in the market. So you already know that you cannot tell a certain customer that the delivery time will be in 1 week time, because you know that you take all customers order in a certain week, go to the market on the Friday of that week, and then start working the next day. So know which one works for you. Do you have someone close to you who, close to your area, who sells the materials and it's easy for you to just go and buy, or you have to buy in bulk in the market? It's always a good thing to buy in bulk, okay, if you can afford to. So let's move to point 2. Okay, so point 2 is to schedule cutting and preparation of fabric. What do I mean? So we talked about point 1, that you should buy your fabrics and materials on time. So when you have the fabrics and the materials on ground, you know that in the process of making your fabric or your designs, there are sometimes when you need to interface your fabrics, when you need to prepare the fabric by ironing and all the likes. Now, if you live in a country where you have issues with light, like Nigeria, you know that someday it can be the day when you want to sew. That's when NEPA will show you shaggy, and then you also go and queue for 5 hours in the filling station to buy fuel. So it is important that you plan yourself. Okay, I've seen that national grid has been falling for the past 2 weeks. Know that it is the day that you sew. It's not that day that national grid will decide to stand Digba like Calvary tree. It is not going to stand. So know that it might also fall. So you plan yourself that perhaps I might not have enough light, except if you have alternative of maybe your generator. Maybe your generator does not use fuel and use other things, or you use solar, then you know that you don't have issues with light. But if you have issues with light, you have to plan that I might need to cut down everything I need. Cut it down. Interfacing, cut it down. Don't say it's when they bring the light I'll start cutting. Cut it down, prepare it, so that when there's light, you just go to your pressing iron and then you fix them on it. And if you need to press the fabrics as well, you do that. Okay, let's move to number 3. Okay, so number 3 is depending on how complicated the design is. You know that you cannot, if somebody wants to make a shift dress, you can say, oh, okay, since you have your fabric, we're not putting lining, we're not putting stay, we're not putting anything, so it means that there's no much work for us to do. It's just to cut it and sew it, so we can probably deliver in 1 week time. But when we are talking about somebody who wants to make a wedding dress or somebody who wants to make a corset, you know that one person might not be able to achieve that. And in fact, also depending on the workman, the amount of hands you have that work with you. Okay, so if you have a tailor that works with you, or you have 2, 3, 4, 5 tailors, you know that your delivery time is going to be fast because you have more people working on things. But if you know you are the only one, or you have just one person assisting you, check out the work time of that person. How fast are they? Then how fast can you guys deliver? So if you're making a wedding dress, you will hear even some big brands telling you that if you're making a wedding dress, you have to tell us 3 months ahead. It means, 1, they probably have to source for the fabric because you don't use regular fabrics for wedding dresses. Secondly, you have to prepare the fabrics. Thirdly, you have other customers' work that you're working with. So don't judge your delivery time by that person, when the person gives you the cloth and the duration for you to sew the cloth. No, you have other people's cloth you are sewing. I've had clients tell me things like, oh, tailors, why is it that you can sew a cloth overnight, yet you tell us to collect in 2 weeks time. That's because you have other customers' cloth that you are sewing. Okay, it's not that person's cloth you are sewing. So you cannot leave Mr. A that gave you clothes since last month. You can't leave his work and then go and meet another person and go and start doing another person's work. You have to plan each of their delivery time. Okay, so you know, is this complicated? Is it a corset? Do I need to do some interfacing? Do I have different layers of the production process? Whichever the timing is, try to plan it ahead and then give a delivery time that you know is feasible for you and your staff. Okay, so another point, which is the fourth point, is start early. I see this a lot. Sometimes it happens to me when you decide that, oh, it's just a simple dress, I'll start when the delivery date is tomorrow, I'll start today. No, when you start, many times you realize that the day, because you have shifted close to the deadline or the delivery date, a lot of things happen. That's when your sewing machine would start dancing galala and saying, I don't want to work today. Or that's when maybe even you will start feeling some headache. Or that's when maybe a family will call you and say, we need you to come right away. A lot of things. That's when national grid will fall. In case you're not in Nigeria and you're watching this, Nigerians know what national grid is. So please explain to those who don't know in the comment section. Okay, so a lot of things can go against you. It can even be that day that you will press the cloth and iron will burn that cloth. So you need to go and buy another fabric. So when you don't have enough time to allow that, oh, in case something happens, I still have more days to be able to recover the fabric or recover anything. So you need to start early, and note that if you are going to give, in fact, that is point 5, so let me not jump into it. So my point in this point 4 is always start early. Okay, so let's move to point 5. So point 5, I wrote here, I said under promise and over deliver. You might have heard that a lot, but I'll explain it in the time we're talking about. Under promise is that you gave me your fabric and you told me when am I going to deliver, and I said I'm going to deliver in 2 weeks time, but I know that I can deliver it in 1 week time. So you, the customer, is expecting that I deliver in 2 weeks time. I, the fashion designer, will sew your clothes, make sure it's ready, and deliver it 1 week before the delivery date. Now what happens to that client? They become very happy and like, you over delivered, or like, you told me 2 weeks and it's already ready within 1 week. That's nice. Now some people will say, it's to make them feel like they can always bring clothes to you and you do it within 1 week. No, what you are doing for yourself now, it's just about how you relate with your customers. You can let them know this thing is 2 weeks. We might be able to deliver then, but before then, but the latest is 2 weeks. So what I'm doing is, for example, the way we deal with clients is, if we tell you 2 weeks, in 1 week, we try to make you come for fitting. Okay, so when you come for fitting, we adjust whatever needs to be adjusted. By the second week, before the end of the second week, we expect you to have gotten your dress. Okay, so we should have delivered. And don't always deliver the dress when it's close to the client's event date. It puts you under a lot of pressure. You don't like it. You don't want to be there. It puts you under a lot of pressure. So all of these things, when you put them in place, trust me, you will not be part of the tailors that they will call, Nigerian tailors disappoint. I've seen a post where they said between tailors, carpenter, bricklayer, which ones disappoint the most, and everybody was shouting tailor. You should cover your face. It's very bad. But you can be among those who don't disappoint. I would boldly say there's no customer that wants to come and meet me and say we've ever disappointed them. And these are some of the tips I shared with you, are some of the things that we use to ensure that we don't deliver any customer. Okay, I wish you all the best in your business, all the best in your brand. And if you got 1 or 2 things from this video, please like, share, and of course, subscribe. You should subscribe. Okay, see you in the next video.